Okay, I hope you can all hear me live. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Prof. Temi Akinwumi. I've been in tech for over 26 years and I'm the CEO of a tech company. We're into cybersecurity, cloud technologies, and also data analysis, project management, Scrum Master business analysis. So if you're interested in getting into tech in 120 days, I can help you. I can coach you and I can also mentor you into tech. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. I can show you how to get into tech. So thank you for joining. Today we're going to be discussing mindset for your career growth. Feel free to follow our room. We are always here every single day. The room is Tech and Powerhouse. Click on the green button and follow us so that you get notification when we are here. So there are two types of mindset. We have a fixed mindset and we have a growth mindset. So we'll find out today what kind of mindset we have. Individually, there will be a quiz whereby we can find out the best mindset. So have you ever considered or thought about it? What kind of mindset do I have? Do I have a fixed mindset or do I have a growth mindset? I'll give a couple of examples. So when you fail, what is your thought process? There's tendencies that someone will fail in life. Nobody is perfect. But when you fail, what is your thought process? Do you feel like you let yourself down because you didn't have the ability? Or do you feel like you haven't learned enough to be successful? So that means when you fail, you feel like, well, I'm just like that. I can't really do better than this because this is who I am. Or do you think, oh, I need more, I need to learn more so that I can be successful so that I will not fail again. So these are the two mindsets. So when you fail and you think, oh, well, I failed and this is who I am, I can't really get better, that's a fixed mindset. You just believe you can't get better and that's all you have. That's a fixed mindset. Your mindset is fixed on that. And you just believe you are stuck there, you can go forward. But when you fail and you believe, oh, I failed, but I can really do better, then you have a growth mindset because you've seen the fact that, oh, well, I failed now, but I'll be better, right? So that means you have a growth mindset. So today we're going to look at the two different mindset and then do some quizzes that will help us to determine what kind of mindset we have, and then we'll analyze that. So based on the question, you might easily distinguish between having a fixed mindset or having a growth mindset. So it's very critical to understand that so that you'll be able to guide yourself in your career growth, what you need to do to have a better mindset for, for your career. So a growth mindset means that you believe you're intelligent, you're smart, you're talented, and you can develop over time more, as you go. But a fixed mindset, I mean, thank you for joining. Feel free to come up. We're discussing about, and everybody that's joined us, thank you. We're discussing about mindset for career growth. So we're discussing about growth mindset and fixed mindset. And I said people that have a fixed mindset, they believe they failed and they can't really get better because this is how they are. They are made like this. They are created like this. They can't get better. That's okay. But if you have a growth mindset, you always believe, oh, well, I failed, but I can be better. I have to learn more. I have to do this. I have to study for this exam. I'm not going to fail. You just have a better mind way of enhancing yourself, empowering yourself in your career. We want to see which one is better. And then we want to also analyze us. I also do a quiz and see what kind of mindset that we have. So feel free to join me. Feel free to join me. We have room up here. I mean, can you come up? You want to come up? I know you're a super moderator, so if you want to, yes, come on, Ami. I'm bringing you up. Thank you, Amin.
Hi, Professor Timmy.
Yes, how are you doing, Amin?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sure you know about mindset as well. So that's what we're discussing today. We just want to see what kind of mindset that will help our career to grow. Most of the time, we don't think about mindset. We just believe, I don't really know, but we need to see what kind of mindset that we have. So, so the growth mindset pretty much means you want to embrace challenges, you want to embrace your setback, you want to look at it, you want to take responsibility for your actions, you want to see, oh, welcome Akilish. Let me make you moderator. Thank you for joining.
Yes, I invited him on stage. Thank you, Temi.
Oh, thank you. Please let me bring people up.
Sure.
Yeah. So we want to discuss. This is actually a discussion, right? So it's not gonna be. So that means you're saying, okay, I'm growing. I'm gonna grow my mindset. I'm gonna be perfect. I'm gonna continue to practice, practice, practice. Then practice will make perfection. So that is a growth mindset. But a fixed mindset is fixed. It believes it's not intelligent enough to be successful to that level. Just want to remain in this stagnant level. So that's what I'm discussing about. We're going to be discussing about fixed and growth mindset. I will allow Amin and Akilish to introduce themselves, then we'll continue. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so this topic, I started introducing myself. Everything is in my bio, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So just getting right to the question, as far as growth mindset, I think it's very important because I'll just give a specific example. Late last year, I was approached by Google to lead a certain, in a role. And it was like a leadership role within engineering, but also a bit of marketing. And when they approached me, I felt like, oh, because I saw it as this big company, everybody want to work once. Well, a lot of people want to work at. I definitely didn't have a growth mindset, even though. So each stage of the interview process is a long process. I was doing well, getting to each round, and then I got to the final round. And when I got to the final round, it was between me and an internal employee. So the internal employee got the job. But here's where, if you had a growth mindset, you wouldn't really be stopped. So when that happened, I felt really depressed about it. I felt very defeated. And then I told myself a lie, which is, you see, you weren't capable of doing it anyway. But I was, because a lot of people don't even get the first interview, let alone the final round. But I told myself that I had a scarcity mindset, and I said, you if you did better, you would have gotten it over the internal employee. So sometimes when we have that minimized mindset and we don't have a growth mindset, you can actually set yourself far behind again, further behind. So after that, like, Google would reach out again, and then sometimes I wouldn't apply. It would be very crippling. I'd call my friends there and say, I want to apply, but then I'd wait till the job expires, or I just kept lying to myself that it wasn't, I wasn't capable. And so with the growth mindset, what you're going to do is say, yes, I didn't get that opportunity and I did my best. And so there will be more. I learned from the opportunity versus saying, I'm not good enough, or you start having imposter syndrome. So that's what I think about when I think of growth mindset, looking at things from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, looking at things as a learning opportunity rather than a failure, or an area of development rather than a failure. So that's what I wanted to add. This is Amina, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Amin. Thank you for using that example. Yeah. So having a growth mindset, whenever you see a challenge, you don't see it as an obstacle, but you see it as the way to move forward. You pretty much use your stumbling block as a stepping stone to the future. So thank you so much for that. And welcome, Kunle. Akilish, can you please introduce yourself and maybe give us some examples where you've used this growth mindset? Thank you.
Sure. So first of all, thank you so much, Tammy, for the invitation. My name is Akhilesh, and I'm a career coach and a mentor, and an experienced technology professional with an expertise into Salesforce, which is a cloud computing platform. For more details, you can visit my bio on Clubhouse or connect with me on LinkedIn for more details. First of all, Amin, thank you so much for that enlightening example. That was really like inspiring. I would just add, like, when it comes to a career growth or a growth mindset, how I look at it is like in today's point of time when we see to the tech world. I mean, with the post pandemic times, the technology is at an accelerated pace. So every 3 to 6 months there is something new which is coming into the market. So what we as professionals, I mean, I would advise to anyone who's seeking to pivot into tech, be ready to be adaptable, be ready to be agile, because if you are a constant learner, you have great opportunities to come across, and people who are not in the habit of learning or exploring something new in the tech world, that really becomes a deal breaker as such. Because I, at one point of time, was an electrical engineer. I started my journey with some struggles and trying to go through my own imposter syndromes, that whether I could get into tech or not, what would be the career options I could choose at. I had nobody to coach me or mentor me. So that really made those things very difficult at that point of time, because when you do not have anybody to guide or you to coach, I mean, it's like you are accountable for your own career decisions, your future prospects. So what I learned from my mistakes is it is very much important to like shape up a career or give a direction to a career in a manner that we should be doing a thorough analysis or assessment that what is in demand in the market, what is a great career opportunity, and it's always better to speak to the people who are in the business or in that industry or domain experts to get as much as clarity as possible, and important to try and execute what people say the best practices. I would say what my context on growth mindset is. Thank you so much, Temi. I'm done speaking.
Oh, thank you.
Tammy, I wanted to send you a DM and then I moved you to the audience by mistake.
Are you true?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah,
Tammy?
you can be the moderator. Go ahead.
Is your audio on?
Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Okay, let's continue though. Kume, so Professor Timmy started this room. She wants to know, what do you consider a growth mindset? And then welcome Prayer, and then we'll go to Sogo and Vikram. So Kume, what do you consider a growth mindset? Can you share a quick story?
Hello, good evening, everyone. At least from this part of the world where I am. Thanks, Amin. Yeah, so for me, I would say growth mindset basically is a mindset that basically will acknowledge the following. One, you must be very open to feedback, and that is basically very important, because you would never be able to thoroughly and truly be able to do a full-blown, extra analysis of yourself, in understanding what you are doing well and what you are not fully doing well. So when someone that is looking at you, with an external eyes, they will be able to tell you, especially those that are in your circle, that they want you to grow. They will be able to give you, that feedback. And oftentimes feedback, may not be palatable. It may not be something sweet. It may not be how you want them to say it. It may not be something you want to, hear them say. But you must have that mind that is, very open to feedback. And that's something that I do a lot, in every position that I've occupied. Like my manager knows, in every of my one-on-one with my manager, with my skip level manager, I always end up meeting with, feedback. So I get those feedback, and then I act on those feedback, and it definitely, helps me to grow. Also, you want to, deliberately, you have to be deliberate about this. You have to identify mentors. If you want to grow, you must have people, that you overlook that. The people that are on the same ladder with you, the people that are on the same career path with you, the people that you're on the same level with in your career, you can definitely also learn from them, and then people that have gone ahead of you. And then the third part of it is also you having someone, that you mentor, because when you give back, there is some set of emptiness that you have to refill, basically. So that also helps you, to grow. And you must be hungry. Like, it is very, very important. Like, don't be complacent. You have to challenge yourself to something that is higher. When I started at Google, after 2 years plus, I was looking at one of the most difficult, roles that you can be in at Google. And I had a lot of like, oh, it's tough, it's this and things like that. But I wanted to challenge myself to something higher. I wanted to challenge myself to something that I haven't done before. I want to be able to just, go on that growth mindset. And I put in for that role. I did my due diligence and I was able to land that role. And it's been an awesome, growth trajectory for me on that particular team that I'm in now. So all of those things for me will be a mind that definitely want to grow. I'm done speaking. Thanks.
Thank you, Kule. I love that you didn't let those limiting mindsets, those limiting statements stop you, because sometimes when we trust people and we share some of our dreams, it can be scary, because sometimes their own limitations will help us, will push us to limit ourselves. They'll tell you it's too hard or it's difficult. So thank you so much for sharing that. And we'll get more into the conversation. Professor Temi, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Okay. Sure, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry I moved you to the audience by mistake. I was trying to send you a DM to ask you something, but I tapped that by mistake. So do you want me to continue the conversation?
Yeah, it's your room too, so go ahead.
Okay, great. So Prerika, thanks so much for joining us. I love your insights as well. So yeah, so the prompt is, what, if you want to share one specific story, maybe where you had a limiting mindset and then you had to shift or pivot to a growth mindset and how that's helped you in your career. We'd love to hear it. And welcome Anna as well.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Amin, as always, thank you for such a warm welcome. As you probably know, this is a topic that's so close to my heart because I feel like in the career search, we talk so much about the strategy. And I think that your thoughts and beliefs, which is what a mindset is so important. So Professor Temi, I love this topic. Thank you for choosing it. Kunle, I really resonated with what you said about being complacent. So that's really my story, is that growth mindset to me is about up-leveling and upgrading, right? Because I think where you are today, you were probably dreaming about being there a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And when we get there, it's tempting to stay comfortable. It's safe. It's something And I felt the same way, a while ago when I got my MBA, I landed what was my dream career in digital transformation. And I was, I loved it. I wanted to be in consulting. I got it. It was the field that I wanted. I was making the money that I wanted. And I started, and I was happy. And so I didn't really make any changes. I was sort of doing everything I wanted to do. And I realized that something was a little off for me. I started not feeling that engaged in my work. I wasn't the happiest. And from the outside, nothing is wrong. I had a good job, great company. I'm traveling all the time, making the money. But I realized that I didn't change anything. I didn't up level. I didn't try to learn anything new. And so I decided to go in for this next level role, a much more senior title at a different company. And the limiting beliefs actually came from me. It wasn't anybody else saying no. It was like, Prerika, are you going to be able to stand up to this leadership team? Is this something you can do? Are you sure you have enough experience? And so I had all of that inner dialogue going on that I had to really work through and see, is that true? Do I really not have the skills? Can I do it? And I had to really kind of talk myself up. And so I guess, my thought for you is just make sure you're listening to that, because I didn't even know I was doing it to myself. And once I got over that and I started getting really curious, I did really well in that role and I was able to keep growing my career. But I had to kind of face the truth that a lot of that no and naysaying was from that inner critic of my own self. So just make sure that no matter what anybody else is saying, that you're not the naysayer. Make sure that you're your own cheerleader. And that, I think, is the way that you're going to be able to grow your career. So I hope that helps. I am Prerika, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Prerika. That was so important, because the stories that we tell ourselves will also surmount anything that anybody else tells us, and that's what will determine whether we even believe people, because of what we already tell ourselves, whether negative or positive. So I love that. And just really quickly, I'm gonna just reset the room. Then we'll go to Sogo and Vikram, because they've been waiting, and then we'll go back to one of our awesome mods, Anna. So today, this is Professor Temi's room, the purple background that you see right above me. I mistakenly moved her to the audience, so that's why, but she's right where she needs to be, right in the middle, so that's awesome. So this room is hosted under Tech and Powerhouse, that's her club. So please do follow this club. She hosts a lot of amazing rooms daily, every single day, with different topics. And so today we're focusing on your mindset for your career growth. So specifically the growth mindset versus a limiting mindset. So good. Do you have a question for any of the moderators on stage today? Welcome to the stage.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, basically, I just wanted to chip in something. I don't know if I could drop something also. Like,
of course, you can drop something.
Okay. My name is Shugo. I'm a software engineer at Invisible Technologies. Yeah. So I also have a background in machine learning. I have experience in MLOps. So yeah, for a growth mindset in terms of career, I think one of the things that would also help, or that has helped me generally in my career, is not being idle at any point in time, apart from my leisure. There is always something I'm learning. There's always something I'm looking at in terms of my work, in terms of like new technologies, because our field is sort of moving very fast. A lot of things come out every day, new features, new libraries, new things, new stacks that you could learn. And even in what you're doing, there are new methods or new ways or new approaches you can actually take that can help you to maybe progress in your career. So at every point in time, I believe so much that having to learn something new, maybe every day or every week, setting out like a goal for yourself that you're not going to be idle at every point or at any point apart from maybe your leisure, would really help us to grow in our careers. Yeah. My name is Shugo and I'm done talking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shugo. I love what you shared. That constant learning will help you with the growth mindset. And that makes sense, because if you're growing, you should be learning something new. So I love that. Thank you so much. So Vikram, you are next. To let us know if you have a question or you wanted to add something to the conversation. And then maybe I'll pass it over to Professor Temi if she has another question for us, or I'll ask different moderators questions. If you're in the audience and you want to come up and ask any question for the moderators on stage, please feel free and feel comfortable to join us. If you're new to Clubhouse, come up and ask any questions. So Vikram, welcome to the...
Yeah, hi. First of all, it's really great to be here. It seems like a very good room to learn a few things.
Thank you.
And I think to a fair extent, that is what a growth mindset is, that you know that learning comes from any and all possible sources. So it's like you can't learn stand-up comedy just by doing stand-up comedy or watching comedians. You have to have diversified sources of experiences in your life. I think that's the same with whether you're an investment banker or a management consultant. So I think it's pretty much that data collection and having a life of diversified experiences and connections. I think for me, that is it.
Love it. Thank you so much, Vikram. So I have a question for you. Has it ever been a point in your life or during your career where maybe you had a limiting mindset and then you had to shift? And if you did, you can quickly tell the story. If you did, how did you do it? What did you actually do to start thinking more along the lines of a growth mindset?
Okay, so I think around 2018, there were a bunch of people in the Indian stand-up comedy circuit who kind of tried to, wipe me out completely. And so it was a difficult situation. But I figured that I have a niche in corporate comedy, which is a very different market from this. So let them have what they wanted. And in the process, I actually managed to become much more, individual oriented. So I was getting gigs on my own. And during the pandemic, that's what helped to save me. I was not dependent on the circuit. I was able to get online shows eventually because of the independent niche that I did. So in some ways, I guess they are doing me a favor.
Thank you so much for sharing, Vikram. All right, awesome. So, Professor Temi, do you want me to still take the reins, or you want to ask us a question?
I'm on vacation. Can go ahead.
Okay, great. So
yeah, let me just add something.
So now, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to introduce Anna.
Oh yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead, do that.
Oh, that's what you wanted to say?
No, that's okay. I'll add on later. Let's go for Anna.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have Anna. We always share a lot of stages together, and I'm so happy that you're here. And if you're interested in project management or becoming a project management professional or Scrum Master, Anna is your plug. So please do follow her. Follow all the moderators on stage. Lots of amazing value, and when they come into rooms, very practical tips. And just from what I've experienced with them, just from a caring perspective, I really love when people share tips, but not in a top-down way, in a way that is with a growth mindset. They're trying to help people grow while they're growing as well. So I really appreciate all the moderators here on stage. So Anna.
Thank you so much, Amin. Thank you so much, Amin, and good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Miss Temi and everybody. My name is Anna, and as Amin mentioned, I'm a project manager, career strategist. I help women who are trying to get into project management just learn the steps they need to take so they can land their dream jobs. And I just have a quick story regarding growth mindset. I am a Kenyan immigrant, but I moved here in 2003 to the United States, so I've been here quite a bit now. And when I came here 2 years later, I landed my first corporate job. And I'll just be honest, my first job was $28,000 a year. I was super excited. I called my parents back home. They were super excited. My mom and dad were like, okay, now, Anna, you have to accept that job. And now, because of the eldest, you're going to be the responsibility of your siblings going forward. So I was like, okay, anyone who is from Africa probably resonates with that because you're supporting people back home, even though my parents could afford it, but they're like, no, take one of your siblings and support them. Anyway, so I stayed with that job, but I wasn't able to support myself. I quickly learned that that job was not even going to be sustainable, but I stayed with the organization because that organization was very, very nice to me in terms of other parts of my work outside of that. And so I stayed with them for 12 years. I grew in my career from a project coordinator. By the time I was leaving as an IT project manager, but I wasn't even making double that. Every year, my salary was maybe 2% raise, and then bonus, maybe 2%, bonus. So by the time I was leaving in 2016, after being there for over 14 years, almost 12, 13 years, something like that, I was only making $57,000 a year. And I had to leave because I was like, I can't stay here. I had 2 children now. I was married and all that stuff. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had to grow out of that. But I was very nervous because I had been in a bubble that I felt safe and I didn't want to leave. But I started applying. And when I was applying, I was rejected more than 78 times, I remember. But finally, I got a contract role. In my first position, it was over $57 an hour. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never received this much money in my life. But I accepted it quickly, and I was at that job for only 6 months, and I eventually left because of a toxic manager. But I had the power now. I had a lot of aha moments after I left my previous job that had been there for 12 years. I was like, where have I been all this time? Why have I been in this situation? Just, living paycheck to paycheck, while out here, there's so many opportunities for me. After I left that job, I applied for other jobs and I got 3 offers at the same time, all of them offering me 6 figures. And I could not even believe myself. I was like, gosh, for 12 years, I was here, I was doing that. And I had to speak with people, read personal development books that just helped me grow, because at some point, my mind was just locked. Oh my gosh, I have a job, I cannot leave. What are people going to say? And things like that. And then that's helped me also helped some of my friends who are looking for positions because I used what I had learned at my previous job search and notes that I'd taken to help some of my friends and family members also learn the steps that they need to take. And that helped me also grow as a business person. That this year I started my business where I'm helping women land their jobs. And in February this year, I started with my very first client. Now I have 33 clients. So I just want to encourage people out there that you can grow. You have to get out of that bubble. I know it's scary. I know you don't know what the future holds, but you have to push yourself out there to get to what you want. So this is Anna. I'm done speaking. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that story, Anna. Now, what I also love about that story is that after you grew, you're making sure that the people around you are growing as well. You're sharing tips for people as well. I posted on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago about when we get to the top floor, we need to send the elevator back down. When we open one door, we need to keep it open for the people behind us. So I love that. I'm just going to go really quickly to George, and then I have a question for Prayaka, Akhilesh, you and Professor Temi. So George, welcome to the stage. Would you like to ask a question about a career growth mindset, or do you want to add in?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here today. I just want to share with you about my career because I'm feeling like I'm stuck. I have been working for technology field as solutions engineer for some of the biggest vendors like SAP and Dell Technologies, and then I have to job because of my family and I have to move around. Nowadays, I'm looking forward to come back to my career and the progress and see myself growing back in technology. So, yeah, I need some advice or maybe something someone has known like interesting team to join. I would be glad to talk to him. Having my Instagram account over here, so I would be glad to have a conversation with someone.
Great. So Akhilesh, Prayaka, Professor Temi, Anna, do you want to? He's looking to get back into the tech space, and he had to take some time out for family stuff. So he's looking. I guess he's looking for some guidance, maybe offline. Anybody willing to have a coffee chat with him?
Where are you located, George?
I'm located in Egypt.
Egypt, okay. So where are you looking to work?
Sorry, where?
Where are you looking for job? Which area? Which country?
I'm not tied to some location, but I can work remotely even like my previous job, so it will be fine.
Okay, so pretty much what you have to do is you have an employment gap. So you need to fill that gap. You need to find a way. I'm sure when you are busy doing family work, working with family, or you have family emergency, or sorry about that. So I'm sure whenever you have, that leave of absence or family emergency or gap in employment, you probably still have time to do one or two things. So you need a mentor that can stand for you. You need to be able to show down your resume that you were doing something at that time. I'm sure you were doing some volunteer services or something. You are not like completely not doing anything because you cannot have gap in employment. Or if you have, you might be lucky they might call you, but most of the time they might be asking why you have that gap. So you want to fill that gap first by having a mentor or someone that can be like your reference for that time that you are missing, so that at least they're doing something with them or volunteering with them. If you can't have any of that, it might be hard for them to call you. But if they call you, you may have to be able to explain to them what happened, like, truthfully explaining to them, and they might be able to at least take it from there. That would be my advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor Temi. Prayaka or Akhilesh?
So my thought is a little bit different. I just want to offer that opinion is there's so many of us, I think, that have different personal things that happen in our life. And if the employer is right and the opportunity is right, George, I feel that there's no need to explain it, right? Just continue interviewing, have that on your resume. If someone asks me about it, because now, it's been a while that I've been on this study stream, but I had an employment gap of about a year for a family-related medical issue. And I just told them that, there was a personal circumstance. That's it. I didn't go into why, who, what. So that is a possibility as well, right? And I think that most employers will understand that, but then there's cultural nuances. So I know, it was asked what country and what location. There may be cultural nuances particular to the location or the country, but I would say that just, be brief about it and talk more about everything you've done, what you want to do, and where you're going, rather than focusing on the gap. So that's my thought.
Also, George, thank you so much for that, Parika and Professor Temi. One last thing, George. What field are you what kind of roles are you interested in? Do you know?
Yeah, actually, I'm a technology solutions engineer. I've been working with Stroke before, so I can join as solutions engineer or technical account manager for some technology department.
Okay, Kunle just left, but he's my friend outside of this app. He works at Google. He was just here on stage, but he hasn't been. Okay, I tried to give that guy the benefit of the doubt, but this is the second time he came up to yell. So, please don't let him back on stage. So, George, I'm gonna connect you to. I don't know if you were here when Kunle was here. Were you?
No, I didn't hear that.
You connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll connect you to Kunle. Because what you want to do is similar to his what he does, and he'd be happy to help. Okay, he was on. Oh, there he goes, Kunle.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. So
I got a call.
No, it's fine. I figured. I was just telling George to reach out to me on LinkedIn so I can connect him to you. So he has like a little bit of a gap, but he said he wants to do engineering, but specifically, what did you say again, George? I'm sorry, my brain is just froze.
Yeah, it's kind of solutions engineering.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so he wants to go into solutions engineering. So I wanted to connect him with you. He needs a bit of a mentorship. I'm sensing that he's feeling a little bit down about the gap, and he's trying to get back into the workforce, but he has the experience. So would you mind coaching him and connecting with him so that you can walk him through the process, and maybe he can apply for a role at Google?
Yes, that's possible. So when you say gap, is it that you haven't worked for a while, or you've not worked in that certain role for a while? Can I understand the gap a little bit?
Yeah, I just have some family reasons, so I've been out of corporate life for some time. Now I'm looking forward to join back as a solutions engineer or technical account manager for some vendor. I've been working before for SAP and that technologies, so I have some set of skills and technologies that I think they are valuable. But nowadays I'm trying to push myself back to the field and to corporate life. This is what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, thanks for that. We can sure connect, and also Facebook do have what they call return to work program as well. Google does. So the return to work program is just basically, of course, for people that have been, out of the corporate life for one reason or the other. You've not had to work in that role for, some years, or you've not been working at all. So they do have a 16-week reintegration program, that brings people back into the workforce and be able to function in whatever kind of role that they want to. So that's something I can definitely help you guide about, and we can get you into that, do whatever we have to do to apply for that, for you to get that. And also whatever form of mentoring that I can provide, and then see how you can apply for Rosa and Google as well. So connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter, and we'll take the conversation from there. Thanks.
Awesome. I hope that helps, George.
Yeah, thank you all. I'm happy with you all guys and your help. And yeah, looking forward to talk to you again.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing your career growth, just step by step, day by day, okay? All right. So next we have Damola. So just to reset the room, I want to add Anne as a moderator. She's always helpful as well. So just to reset the room really quickly, we're just talking about growth mindset and how it can help in your career. I also asked each of the moderators to share a story of when maybe they had a limiting mindset. So after Anne introduces herself, I'm going to go to Damola, then Temi Tayo, but I'll have, thunder. Let me put myself on mute. I'm sorry. Anne, introduce yourself. We're about to have a thunderstorm.
Hi, I'm Anne, and I work in HR. Growth mindset for me is really, it boils down to self-talk. And there have been times where I've had to stop myself and remember that I need to be an advocate for myself and speak positive things so that I can grow and develop. And that starts with me and with no one else. And if I'm not in a good mindset, it really inhibits that. So this is Anne, and I'm just speaking.
Thank you so much, Anne. All right, great. So Damola, please let us know if you have any questions, and one of the moderators will help try to answer it.
Well, hi, thank you so much. Good evening. Yeah. I don't really have a question. I actually just wanted to add something going off of what Togo said.
Please do.
He talked about trying to get as much learning as possible and get as many new tech, new programs and all that. But I wanted to say, it's great, right? But going down that route, it's tech. You might just fall down a rabbit hole and you don't know where, if you're just going to grab everything you see and you want to learn it. So I would say be intentional. Be intentional in everything that you want to do. You have to have a goal first, and then the things that help you to get to that goal are the things that you should actually carry on and learn. Even aside learning new tech, be intentional also with how you acquire knowledge. Be intentional with your social media strategy and also networking. I've been on so many club groups, especially with you, where you talk about LinkedIn. You have to be intentional in everything that you're doing. You can't just gather on followers and then those followers aren't even going to get you to your goal. So that's just what I want to say. Just be intentional in everything. Learn as much as you can, but be intentional. This is Damola. I'm just speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Damola. I agree 100%. Thank you. Temi Tayo, welcome to Clubhouse. I see that you are brand new on this platform. You literally joined yesterday. So welcome. And what question do you have for any of the moderators on stage?
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Well, I kind of joined but I was able to pick up a thing or two. And my question is, while I was in Nigeria, I studied microbiology, but due to some certain things, the job I got was into sales and stuff like that. Now I decided to just pursue my career in sales, and I came into the UK for a business degree. Now, when I came into the UK, I realized for you to get a good job, you need the experience. And everywhere I just keep on going to every application, every job I'm applying for, they keep on mentioning the experience. Now, what do people like me that don't have this vast experience, what do you think we can do? Because it's beginning to affect my mindset that, okay, I don't have the experience, or maybe I've just picked the wrong career, or I've just gone the wrong way. And I would like to know, what do you think people like me that don't have experience can do as regard to getting a job that requires experience and more experience?
Yeah, so I'm going to have Prerka answer this first, if that's okay, Priyaka. And then Akhilesh, Kume, Professor Temi, and or Chris, who just joined, who will introduce himself after Priyaka answers. So he's, how does one start building the experience when they say you need 2 years experience or you need 5 years experience? Should you be applying for the 5-year experience job when you don't have it yet, or should you start from like the entry level? What would you say his best way of tackling this issue is?
So a couple of things I heard you say, right? One was if you want a good job. So I would just look at what your definition of a good job means, right? That's number one. What I typically tell the clients that I work with, apart from that, is if you feel like the job description is a 50% match, go for it. There's no harm in applying. But if it starts getting draining on you, if you feel like you've applied to 100 jobs, you're not getting a response, then we have to take a look at, is there something to change? And sometimes it's not about the experience directly, it's how you're telling the story, right? Because here's the thing, you don't get experience just from a job. Everything that you've done in your life till now is experience, right? Projects you've done, volunteer experience, anything that you did in school, all of that is part of your experience. And it's just, is it matching what they're looking for in the job? It may not be 2 to 3 years of, at this job, at this experience, but do your skills match? Do the capabilities match? So I want you to take a look at a couple of different things and make sure that it's a match for the job description. And I absolutely don't believe that it has to be, if it says 15 years, you have to have 15 years. You can always go in and apply. So that's my thought. If you've tried all of that, because we haven't gone into depth, if you've tried it, it's still not working, there are certain jobs that you do need to have a specific qualification for, like a certificate or like a special type of training. So make sure that you have that. And then the very last thing is try to look for externships, internships, or more entry-level type of opportunities where you can gain that experience. So those are my tips and thoughts for you. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that clarity and just very precise advice. Temi, before I go to another moderator to answer your question, are you starting to see what you can do to take one step closer to getting those interviews?
That would be cool.
No, I'm saying from Priyaka's advice. Does that make sense to you, her advice?
Well, honestly speaking, I actually want to become a data analyst. And I have not really seen any degree, probably a university degree that focuses on data analysis completely. So you just have to pick up skills from different places, and that is what I've been trying to do. But the issue I have now is most jobs for data analysis, they require experience. Oh, who have you worked with? What kind of job have you done? What have you, what experience do you have working as a data analyst? That I can't defend because I currently have no experience.
Temi, wait, I'm sorry. Were you able to hear what Priyaka said when she was giving advice about looking at some of your schoolwork, looking at what you have done, and seeing how you could apply it to the role? Were you able to hear that?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. So what I was asking is, based on what she said, can you kind of see how you need to go back and dig into your resume and then the role and maybe connect them? Did that make sense? And then I'll just add something else. Did that make sense so far?
Well, it's truly what she said. Actually, it makes sense because she kept on hammering on getting both the experience is not really important, but having the right skills. But I don't know how to explain my situation currently because honestly I've tried with someone Damola said something about getting into a rabbit hole just because I want to work for this I want to work in this specific industry. I'm just trying everything, trying to get all the kind of skills I can get. But it's still not.
Right. gathering everything, but you're not hitting. So the reason why I asked if what she said makes sense, the reason why I asked if what she says makes sense is because sometimes, right, we think this is the way to go, but for me, maybe because I've experienced this, what she says is part of the solution. So I was hoping that you really heard what she said, but I think sometimes in our frustration and anxiety, we kind of don't hear what she said. So let me give you an example. You want to go into data analytics, right? Have you ever sat down with the posting? Is there any job posting that you're looking at right now that you like?
Currently, there's one I'm about to apply for at PwC.
Don't apply for it yet. Don't apply yet. So just answer this question real quick. And I'm doing this in this way so it can be very linear and straightforward, so that when you leave this room, you'll have a different course of action. The job posting that you're about to apply for, do not apply for it yet. And I mean it. The reason why is you need to take a step back for a second. You keep applying and it's not working, right? So we need to, anytime we get to any stage in the interview process, you got to stop and say, okay, am I not getting interviews? Then it's likely my resume. So the job posting that you see that you like, that you want to apply for, right? I want you to send me that job posting on LinkedIn, okay? I want you to say, because this isn't the room, but I just want to give an example. Send it to me on LinkedIn, and then I'm gonna allow Chris and Nikita to introduce themselves, and I'm just gonna show you something. So this room is about the growth mindset. So because I'll give you an example. Because many times, like, I may apply for jobs and I'm not getting any traction. That used to be the case for me. I realized that the problem was my resume. My resume was great, but it had nothing. I wasn't connecting the resume to the role. So when Perica said that you need to look at the role and kind of tailor your skills and your experience to the role, it's important. So you really got to listen to that. What you're looking for is like, I need to get this job. But before you can get the job, you have to get an interview. And before you can get the interview, the person looking at your skills against the role has to see that you might be someone that can do the job. And before they can see that, your resume really needs to match the role. How does your resume match the role? You're going to forget about the fact that you're not getting interviews. You're going to listen to when people kind of explain to you that the skills need to match, because it's true. It's not generic. It's true. So when you look at the role, right, I want you to stop applying for jobs. For everyone in the room who is getting frustrated with applying, you're not getting anywhere, sometimes you have to stop. You keep applying with the same thing. And Albert Einstein said, when we do the same thing, expecting the same result, something to that effect, is a bit of insanity, right? You can't keep trying the same thing and not altering anything and then expect a better result. So when you keep trying something, it's not working, we have to stop. So stop applying, literally, because it's not going to get you anywhere but more frustrated. So stop applying and now say to yourself, this is the role I want, and this is the kind of dream role I want. I want this type of role 6 months from now, a year from now. Take that job posting, and now every single bullet point on the job posting, ask yourself, the bullet points on your resume, does it speak to anything here? If the answer is no, then you need to tailor your resume to what you're seeing on the job posting. Not that you're taking the job posting and pasting it into your resume. Nope. You're going to take everything that you wrote on your resume and ask yourself, does it show that I know how to do this? If the answer is no, then you need to start tailoring that. And that could mean that you need help with your resume. Doesn't mean it could mean that you need to get help with your resume. It could mean that you maybe need to get a resume template. So I want you, just so I can help you specifically, I want you to send me your resume on LinkedIn DM and send me the job posting. Without even knowing you, I can guarantee you that the resume isn't tailored to it, but you're ready to apply. And what's going to happen is you're going to hear crickets, not because you're not qualified. And even if you don't have the experience, there are ways to look at your experience as a student. There are ways to get skills through boot camps and free courses on LinkedIn, free courses on Coursera. There are ways to build up that skill gap. But first you have to identify the skill gap. And the only way you're going to do that is to really look at the role and really look at your resume. That's the hard work that it takes. And it's frustrating. Sometimes it could take 3 months to really get your resume to the place where you want it to be. And then when you do get that, you'll see a big difference in the way, one, that people are approaching you for interviews, and two, the way you even perform in interviews, because now you're able to speak to the role because of your experience and not the other way around. Does that make sense now?
Yes, thank you very much. It really makes sense now.
Okay, so
and the facts are okay.
No,
you
go
can
ahead.
go on.
No, go ahead.
I think I really understand what you're saying now when you're talking about my resume not being tailored to the to the job description I'm probably applying for.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever tailor your resume? Do you ever sit down and say, okay, how can I tailor? Or you're kind of using the same resume for every position?
Well, honestly speaking, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when I try to apply, it might not necessarily be a data analyst job. Mm-hmm. I had experience in sales. Sometimes I try to apply for jobs in sales. I know I can't do the same CV, so I try to kind of
tailor
change something so that it won't look like I'm using the same CV for all kind of job roles I'm applying for. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what I do. Depending on the job I apply for, I kind of tweak my CV a little bit.
No problem. When you send me the role, all I need is one role. And when you send me your resume, I'll tell you in 6 seconds if the resume is the issue. Literally in 6 seconds. So do that. I usually set up times to speak to people for free and everything, but because of you saying you didn't quite understand, I want to look at it myself. Because sometimes we have to just do the hard work. It's not always the job or the people or the lack of experience. Sometimes we're just not presenting in a way that they feel they want to expend energy to interview us. And so I have no doubt that you will be able to get the role, but you really got to do the hard work first up front, which is that resume. So I want to see it myself so I can specifically tell you what I think. All right?
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Damila. I'm Temi Akinwumi. I was calling you Damila. All right, you're welcome. So just real quick, we have Chris and Nikita. Can you both please introduce yourself? And if you talk about maybe in 1 minute or less, what do you think about a growth mindset versus a limiting mindset in your experience in your career? And was there a time that you can remember where you kind of shifted the way you thought and it helped you, just do better because you started to see things differently with a growth mindset? Chris and then Nikita.
Can I quickly add something? I'm sorry, Christopher,
sure,
1 second, please, to Temi Tayo. Temi Tayo, do you have any data analysis skills at all?
Well, I wouldn't say I have the advanced data. I have basic data analysis skills using some softwares. Well, there are different softwares used for data analysis. There are the advanced one and there are the basic one. But for now, I have the basic skills with using the basic applications for data analysis.
Which is what application? What application is that?
SPSS, Excel, and majorly SPSS and Excel.
Yeah, you need more skills. So because you said I actually want to be a data analyst, so you will know there that you don't have the skills. So that's why I just want to point out, because you actually answer your own questions. You said you really want to be, but you are not because you don't have the skills. So you need to work on that as well. I just want to point that out because I caught that from what you were saying. And before we go to Christopher, thank you so much, Amin, for helping to moderate and everybody. I also want to point out with the growth mindset, a lot of my students are here. And this should be an encouragement for you. Everything you guys have been hearing and people that are actually joining, that you need to start from somewhere. Even though if your mindset is fixed and it's not growing, you can grow it by all these examples that you've had from Anna, from Perica, from everybody. You should start thinking forward, and instead of thinking that you are stuck, you can move forward. You don't know what to do with yourself. And also, many people are just trying to break into tech newly. They are new into tech. But because you've had your friends saying, oh, I did tech, I did this course, I did cybersecurity, I can't get a job. Then you think, oh, I can't do it too, because he or she can get a job? Do you know if they are serious? Do you know if they are actually thinking forward? Do you know if they are not? So you can't compare yourself to anybody. If you're going to have a growth mindset, you have to be able to think for yourself and determine to move forward, not depending on friends. You will notice that there'll be some people that they actually finish college, they have all the skills from boot camp, and they can't move forward because they want to validate themselves with a friend, or they want a friend to tell them they can go ahead, or somebody have to. I just want to tell you, I just want to stress that there are many jobs out there. If you are coming back here and telling us you can't get a job, it's a lie. Look inward and see what you are doing wrong and seek for help with mentors. And like Amin said, let's look at your resume, let's guide you, let's mentor you. There are so much jobs that we can't even fill. And it will continue to be like that forever. So there are so much jobs, there's one job out there for you. Go get it. Thank you. And I'm done speaking. Christopher, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Professor Temi. I'm still waiting on your resume and the job posting, Temi. So hopefully I get it before we end the room, because I'm also busy. So I just want to try to look at it while other people are speaking. So Chris, could you please introduce yourself? And
all right. I'll try to send it to you now.
Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Chris from Boston. I'm in the business development space in staffing. So I work at a small firm called Hub Technology Group. We specialize in IT and healthcare placements, primarily centered in Boston. We do have a few remote opportunities. If you look at my bio, the website is in the bio. In terms of mindset, for me, I definitely have a growth mindset. And I think the shift that really happened to get me truly into that growth mindset was, I had enough work experience where I started realizing that, a lot of times the barrier to leadership is more political than it is skills-based. And, I think a lot of times when you're in a company, sometimes, your lack of performance is more of an indicator of, your people managers versus your true skill set. So, what I would do is just look at goals, take feedback, but I would literally look at, what am I doing to build relationships? And, from my perspective, being in business development, when a client would come to me and be like, look, you're the reason I do business with this company, not your boss, not your CEO, it allowed me to really say, look, while I'm in this role, obviously there's an org chart to follow, but it was really knowing that I could outgrow that. So when the opportunity came, I was able to easily shift. So I think the big part of being able to shift your mindset is confidence. And, you get that confidence from, one, not just getting wins, but also learning from your losses. I think anytime I've had a setback, I've been able to learn from that and move forward. I did hear some of the conversation as well with Temateo, and, what I would just offer one kind of, one thing that has helped me, again, I usually work more with clients than candidates, but usually what I tell folks is, look, if you need to get through an ATS and you've got a job description, hopefully it's a good job description, because that's the one thing that you can't control if that job description is really valid. However, when people kind of don't want to do the work to redo their resume, what I tell them is look at it as, what if you had the answers to a test? Wouldn't it be a lot easier to answer? So when you look at, hey, if you have a good job description and you need to tailor your resume to meet that, once you can put some of those key skill sets in there, you're going to make it through the ATS. And even if you don't necessarily move forward in the interview process, as long as you can get in touch with a real person at the company, that can set you up for informational interviews, which can be highly influential in actually landing with that company. So I'll leave my share there for now. This is Chris from Boston. I'll pass the mic.
I love those tips, Chris. Thank you so much. Nikita said she'll be back in 10 minutes. So just going back up to, I have a question for each moderator. So Akilesh, what is one tip you would say would be helpful in building your growth mindset? Akilesh, are you there? Okay, Kume, are you there?
Yes,
yeah. So what's one tip that you would say for someone like Temi or anyone else who is experiencing, that doubt? What's one tip you would offer them in their job search journey or their career journey to build that growth mindset?
Yeah, so for Temi, I think something that I would say, because I did listen to your story a little bit. It doesn't sound to me that you don't have an experience. You do have experience. So it depends on what you classify experience to be. So I think basically what I would say is you learning to make those experiences that you've had. I mean, you've done some things, even if it is in subjects that you've taken in school, or you've participated in some group projects with friends, or you've done some sales or marketing, like on your own, on individual level. Those as experiences or skills. You just basically need to focus on how do you transfer those experiences, or how do you make those experiences to count. And then also you also identifying, okay, what do I need to do in order to change my story, right? If I am applying to positions, or I'm applying to jobs, and it seems like, oh, these people are telling me I don't have, the experience, for this kind of role. Do I need to sit back and basically look at what are the kind of experiences they're asking for? What are the kind of skills that they are asking for? Can I beat my chest to say I do have those? If I don't have, are there some crash programs, that I can quickly take that will just maybe like 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months that can give me, that kind of leverage that I can put on my resume, to begin to command, the attention of those four. One thing I would always say is that, I mean, at times it's difficult because you're looking at, time, you want to get something done, you want to be immediately engaged, with something, but, you may just need to focus your mind to say, okay, the next 3 to 6 months is for me to learn so, and so, is for me to build so, and so. And once you hit the market, the time, whatever it is that that it seems as if you've lost, honestly, you always regain it back. I have a bit of a rough experience with even, getting into college. Way back in Nigeria, we have this system where you have to go through a particular board called JAM, to write an exam that would allow you to gain admission into the university. So I didn't have it good with JAM. Like, I had to write, I'm probably sure I probably wrote more than 4, JAM exams. And I had times that I didn't score up to the requirement to get admission. I had times where JAM canceled my result, I think like 2 or 3 times. I became frustrated. And I was very picky, with respect to what university I would love to attend. So I literally spent 4 years at home after my high school. So I didn't go to no college. I was just at home. I keep fighting JAM. I keep writing different exams because I just had this understanding of where I was going and what, I want for my life. But at the end, when I, cross that Rubicon and get that admission, then it was just, boom, boom, boom. I can't, all of those 4 years that I would say, oh, I sat at home, that seems to be like wasted 4 years. I can tell you that I've gained those years back several, I've gained them back in multiple folds. I'm not trying to be proud or to compare myself, but I look at people that got admission right away then when we left high school, and where I am now, I can only be grateful, to God for how far He has brought me. So at times, you may just need to take the pain of having to just spend some time, to build yourself and develop some things that will give you that edge, because the market out there is very competitive. Companies, are just looking for people that they believe will deliver the results for them. And you have to be able to have that competitive edge as well in the market, or something that seems like a potential that somebody will be able to place a bet on you and say, okay, let's take this Temi Tayo. He may not have all of the experiences that we require, but we see something in him. So I think that would be my my advice for him. I'm Kunle and I'm done speaking. Thanks.
Thank you, Temi Tayo. With everything that we've said, do you now see that maybe a different perspective this time with how you're looking at your situation?
Thank you very much, Kunle and Professor Temi. While Kunle was talking, I was doing a deep reflection of a lot of things. I realized what Professor Temi said, and I think what I need to just work on currently is getting more skills. I think I need right now. I like Kunle said earlier.
No. What you need to do is to first find out what you want to do, because accumulating skills without knowing where you want to go may be an exercise in nothing. So you don't want to keep getting more skills. First, sit down and reflect based on what you've done already and where you're trying to go. Figure out what skills you already have that match where you're trying to go. And then if there's a gap, if there's something missing that you see on that job posting that I'm still waiting for, then you can say, all right, let me take this course to get that skill. Because the reason why I'm asking you to send a job posting for something you truly love and want to do is because it's likely not going to change. So even though that's one job posting from one, it's likely that the other things with a similar title will ask for the same skills. So no, I don't want you to start today and start getting more skills, because that's not helping you, because you already said that it keeps telling you, you keep seeing that you don't have the experience. So first step, what do you want to do? Second step, what I've already done, the skills that I've already attained, do they match this role that I want to do? Third step, if the answer is no, you're taking this route. The route will be, let me figure out what other skills I need to fill in whatever I'm missing from the job posting. And then you go step by step like that. The goal is not to accumulate a bunch of skills. The goal is to make sure that your real experience, because when you get to the interview, they're not going to say, tell me about your skills. What they're going to say is, tell me about your experience, and they'll ask you specific things that you did to accomplish some of the skills they listed in the role. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so are you sending that resume in the posting?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the link for the job posting, and I'll send you my resume with the link. So you just look for
great. Awesome, thank you so much. So we'll be wrapping up in about 13 minutes. I just want to give the moderators a chance to keep going. So Akilesh, are you back? Okay, great. So Priyanka, so the question, what did I ask? I said, so what tip would you give someone who's trying to grow that growth mindset? And then once we do that, actually, Priyanka, if you don't mind, let's do that. What tip do you have? And also, while we're doing this, no, actually, just go ahead with the tip. Once I get to, because I'm trying to figure out how we can maximize the time. So once I get to your tip and then everybody goes, when we get to Nikita, you'll introduce yourself, tell people how to find you, and give the tip, and then we'll go backwards again. So don't leave, Priyanka. We'll end in 13 minutes. We'll go backwards again with how people can reach you, what type of rooms you host, all the way back to Akilesh and myself. Sorry about that. Sorry for my brain freeze. Thank you.
No worries. It's all good stuff. Okay, I have one simple tip for all of you here to stay in a growth mindset, and that is to take accountability. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times when we can't get to our big goals, we can't land the career or something, we're always thinking, okay, it's a bad job market, or, I just don't have the right skills, or maybe it's not the right school. And I want you to take leadership and ownership that you can get what you want, as long as you focus on the things that you can control. Right? So sometimes you might have to change your trajectory a little bit, but I want you to own the fact that it's your career. You can work on your resume. You get to decide what jobs you apply for. You get to decide what your resume looks like. So just know that and take ownership, and it's going to make a huge difference. So I'm Prarik, and I'm done speaking. Thanks.
Such a great tip. Thank you so much, Parika. Thank you. For job seekers or people who are already in their career, to just really build that growth mindset muscle?
Thank you so much, Amin. I remember one time we were in a room together. I think it was last weekend. We were talking about that one interview question. Why do you want to work for X? I think. And I think you guys talked about, I think it was one of the moderators, or maybe it was you, Amin, who mentioned that instead of saying the word weakness when you get into an interview, something like that, or failing, you talk about it as a learning opportunity. So learning and the opportunity. So if you're getting that kind of, or you're getting declined for jobs and things like that, see that as a learning opportunity. Go back and seek and find out what is it that you're missing that everybody else around you is getting. If it's your resume, are you quantifying? Are you putting things that differentiate you from? If it's from a good, sorry, I'm at my kids stop again. If it's reading, are you reading books that will help you grow? For example, there are lots and tons of great personal development books out there. Read a paragraph every day that will uplift you. Atomic Habits, Compound Effect, all these books that will help you even within your own industry that will support you, whether it's a podcast or something like that. I personally do personal development just to help me sometimes, because sometimes life is just too much. So do that kind of stuff that will support you. This is Anna, I'm done speaking. Thanks, Amin.
Thank you so much, Anna. That was great. All right, Anna, do you have a tip for growth mindset in your career or on your journey to seeking that dream job?
I think you said Anna instead of Anne.
Oh, sorry, Anne. I did say Anna by mistake. Sorry. Anne, are you there?
I am.
Sorry, Anne.
That's it. My tip would be willing to break things that don't necessarily need to be fixed. The only way that you're going to be able to improve is challenging what is already in place. And if you fail or don't meet what you're looking for, look at what you can learn from that. This is Anne, and I'm just Steve.
Love it. Absolutely. Every step of the way, when you fail, whether you fail or win, go back and look at what you did right or what you think you can grow from. Love it. Chris, any tip for job seekers or people who are already on their career journey?
Yes, I would say my biggest job tip is to be persistent and to actually remember, what you've applied for. So I think when I'm connecting with job seekers, usually the challenge sometimes is remembering, what do they apply for? Who do they need to follow up with? So I would say, whether it's a spreadsheet or just, keeping good email chains, kind of if you're waiting to hear directly from a company, if you're waiting to hear from a recruiter, and how long it's been. And, if you're in contention, maybe within 72 hours, if you haven't heard, that's usually an appropriate time to connect with someone. But you don't want to spend a couple days looking for, an email chain, and you don't want to, and I think you don't want to be overly anxious as well. So make sure you're giving it enough time. But if you don't have the data, it makes it a lot harder to follow up. So that would be my top follow up. This is Chris. I'm done speaking.
Love it, Chris. Thank you so much, Nikita. So as you give your tip, Nikita, then because we're working backwards, you're going to give your tip. You're going to tell people what you can help them with along this growth or career growth mindset, and how can someone reach you.
Thank you, Amin. Hi, everyone. This is Nikita, founder of Pathpath and also working as a tech recruiter in Amazon. In terms of a quick tip for job seekers, please do make sure that you do a lot of networking via LinkedIn, or even now Clubhouse is great platform where all the hiring manager recruiters are there, so you can reach out to them, and everyone is hiring, so you can say, and there is like a proper format which you should follow. Just don't send them a random message, because I get them on day-to-day basis where people are not even checking my activity section. I have shared all my openings, all my roles, and even on my bio I've written very clearly what roles I'm hiring for. So make sure that when you are reaching out to any recruiter or hiring manager, your message is very clear why you're reaching out. You should share your updated resume. You should have like at least 3 to 4 pointers why you're reaching out to them, which are aligned to your profile, so that it makes our work easy, and also in a way that we should reply back to you, because then otherwise candidates come back and they tell us that we are not replying back to them. So let's make each other's work easy, and so that we can get you hired, because recruiters in the end want candidates to be hired at their companies. You can reach out to me. The best way is LinkedIn, definitely. and the easy way. But when you reach out just directly, don't send me a request. Send me a message along with the request saying that why you're reaching out and you met me through this room, and I'm more than happy to take the conversation ahead. This is Nikita. I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Nikita. So the best place to reach you is LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So Chris, what's the best place people can reach you, and what for? What can they reach you for? And then we'll go all the way up to Kume, then back to Ms. Tus, who just joined, and then we'll end the room. So Chris?
Yep, I'll be brief. So definitely LinkedIn for business roles. If it's for general networking, again, if you want to reference a room, and if you think there's an area where I can help you, I'm more than happy to do so. I'm pretty specific, and most of my contacts, or at least contacts related to jobs, are in the Boston area. Like I said, take a look at my bio on Clubhouse. That will give you some resources. But in terms of connectivity, LinkedIn, and as everyone has already kind of mentioned, anything that can be helpful in terms of pinpointing where you think I might be able to assist is greatly appreciated. I'm Chris, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you. You guys will see how my brain is working. So actually, since Ms. Tus is here, she can go ahead. Sorry for the noise. Ms. Tus, if you could share one quick tip about how to have a growth mindset when you're either looking for a job or in your career, rather than a limiting mindset, thinking you can't do something. And then 2, what can you help people with in the audience? And 3, how can they reach you?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Chuchu. So a quick tip on what you can do to have a career growth mindset for me is to keep the faith alive, believe in yourself, and have the confidence, and really get a good mentor. You want to get a mentor that is aligned within that career path that you have, so that both of you can relate to each other, and the mentor has, essentially the mentor will have years of experience under their belt, right? So they can really give you that word of encouragement. They can help you network. Networking is very, very key to career growth, as well as, getting the necessary certifications that you need. Networking will also help to boost your confidence, right? Because the more people you connect with, the more you've expanded your pool of network in your group, the more confident you'll be, because you've been able to bounce ideas with them and share thoughts with them. So believe in yourself, have confidence, and network, and get a mentor. Most importantly, get a mentor that will help you look over your resume, give you ideas, give you encouragement. Your mentor might say, hey, take this certification, take that certification. So you need a mentor that is already within that career that you're trying to get into. And you can find me on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. And that's it. Thank you, Amin.
Thank you so much. Awesome. So I love that you mentioned those tips. And thank you so much, Ms. Tus. All right. So next we have Anne. If you could tell everyone one tip that you actually gave a tip already. If you could tell everyone what you can help them with, whether it's on Clubhouse or here on LinkedIn, and how can they reach you? What do you prefer? Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter?
Yeah, so the best way to reach me is definitely LinkedIn. I do have Instagram in my bio, but I don't check it regularly. So if you want to reach out, again, LinkedIn is the easiest. Personalized message is always going to get top priority over a blank connection, as it probably is going to go to the bottom. And I can help with LinkedIn and in general HR questions. So this is Anne, and I'm just me.
Thank you so much, Anne. All right, and Anna, thank you. How can people, you don't need to give a tip because you did already, how can people reach you, and for what specifically?
So now actually offering free 15-minute sessions just for July for people who want to just ask questions regarding project management, those Scrum Master roles, and how they can learn those roles. So again, you have to go to my Instagram and register for a session so that you get onto the calendar. So this is just only for the month of July. You can reach me on LinkedIn as well as Instagram, but mostly lately I'm spending a lot of time on LinkedIn. So this is Anna, I'm done speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. All right, Professor Temi, where can people reach you and for what? I know you have a lot of free masterclasses. You also have some other services that you have and products that can really help people, especially that are trying to be IT professionals and Scrum Masters. So since this is your club in your room, can you plug something and let them know how they can reach you and for what?
Yeah, thank you, Amin. Yeah, so if you're trying to break into tech, I can help you break into tech in less than 120 days. So I have a program, I have a lot of programs coming up. You can look under my bio and you can click under my Instagram, click on my bio under Instagram. You'll be able to see free masterclass on my website. And also you can schedule for a free discovery call. I can spend between 15 to 20, 30 minutes to guide you and to help you. It's all free. I have a free masterclass coming up on this Saturday. Also, you can go on myituniversity.com is my website, myituniversity.com, and register for the free masterclass. The masterclass this time around is going to be around cloud. So maybe you are doing trying to get into AWS, Azure Cloud, or data analysis. That is the free masterclass for that. If you need a free masterclass concerning cybersecurity, you need to go under my link tree, which is under my Instagram page. And then click on that. You see the free masterclass concerning that, and you can register or you can watch them. So thank you so much for being here. And tomorrow, I just quickly want to point out, tomorrow, we're going to be discussing about mindset or skill set. Which one is more important? So tomorrow, we're going to be discussing about mindset and skill set. Yesterday, we discussed about future-proof your career. So you're going to be seeing a lot of things around that this week. So feel free to come in 6 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you so much for all the help. I'm done speaking.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Priyarka. Please let us know what you can help with and how people can reach you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Priyarka. Take a look at my bio. I am an empowerment coach. That is what I'm most passionate about. And that includes mindset transformation to get to your biggest goals. So if you're interested in coaching with me, go down, click on my Instagram bio, and that's how you can reach me. I also have a fantastic career podcast. And so if you're looking for tips on mindset transformation, confidence in your career, check that out. The podcast is called Career by Design. It's 15-minute segments. It's available on Apple and Google and Spotify. Again, that's Career by Design. So check that out if you want some fantastic career advice. I'm Priyarka and I'm done speaking.
Thank you so much, Priyarka. All right, Kunle, what can people reach out to you for and where can they best reach you? Can you hear me? Kunle?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Can you say the question again? Sorry.
Yes, I said, how can people reach you and what can they reach out to you for specifically?
Oh, okay. You can reach me via LinkedIn or Twitter, and you can reach me you can contact me for interview prep, mock interviews, resources if I for roles related to probably software engineering, site reliability engineering. Are you preparing for coding interview or design interview, or you just want to chat, about navigating interviews or getting into tech, basically. And then I just wanted to drop this in line with the topic of mindset for career growth. Is just basically to say that folks should know where they are going, because that is very important. If you don't know where you are going, every other place will look like it. I'm done speaking. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love that point. And I wanted to just say to everyone who's new on Clubhouse, speaking of growth mindset, think about Clubhouse as an extension of LinkedIn. A lot of times people don't really maybe respond to you on LinkedIn. You can try other tactics. Another thing is to see if that person is actually active on Clubhouse. And the way to do that is the same way you search them on LinkedIn, search their name on Clubhouse. For the most part, people use their real names here on Clubhouse. So search their name on Clubhouse and see if under their profile, they might be hosting a room next, or maybe they have a club on Clubhouse related to that career field. It's a great opportunity to get into the room with them and perhaps connect with them by asking a question on stage. So I just wanted to share that. As for me, if you're interested in getting into product management or product marketing, or you need assistance with like just trying to get clarity on what it is that that you should be doing to connect your resume to your to the dream job that you have, interview tips, all of that. I host a lot of rooms surrounding that stuff with other people, not just necessarily in my space. The best way to reach me for anything career related is LinkedIn. If you send me career related info on Instagram, I'm only going to tell you to message me on LinkedIn. I try to keep them separate. If you are looking to get some tips on product management and product marketing, just to see if you would be a good fit for those type of roles, I do a lot of quizzes on my Insta story, just fun things in a fun way to relay the same information that may be a little bit difficult or technical. So you can follow me on Instagram if you want to do that. And then I just wanted to quickly say, Temi, you did send me the job posting, but I want to say, and this is for everyone in the room, so Temi, your LinkedIn profile could be another, again, we were guessing, right? Because I don't know what your resume looks like. I'll talk to you about your resume now that you finally sent it. But I will say that just off the bat, your LinkedIn profile, you only have 6 connections. So that's not helping you optimize LinkedIn. You need to have 500 plus. So I would implore you to connect with people here in the room. Secondly, you wrote, I strongly believe that anything can be learned. A microbiologist turned business enthusiast. That's not telling me that you want to learn, that you are looking for data analytical roles at all. Another thing is the posting, the last role that you had, you wrote sales representative. And then before that is laboratory technician. So the issue here first, let me not say the issue. One of the areas of development is definitely to beef up your LinkedIn. For everyone in the room, your LinkedIn isn't a place for you to just dump your resume. Nope. Your LinkedIn is an extension of what they might see on the resume because they will go there and check. And so even if your resume looks good and then I go on LinkedIn and it shows that you want to go into sales or you say that you're a business enthusiast, that doesn't tell me that you want a business, a data analytics role. Because if I'm a recruiter, I'm looking for who's ready right now, who's showing me they can hit the ground running. What I see on your LinkedIn is that you're not sure what you want because you have a few things that you wrote here. Even in your bio, it doesn't match what you have in the summary. And I'm saying this because I know you're still in the room. It's very, very important. Before we say, I'm not getting calls, I'm not getting through, ask yourself, have you really put your best foot forward? A lot of times I would say, I'm not getting past the second round, but sometimes I wouldn't even practice interviewing. I would just wing it. And it works sometimes, but it's not going to work to get that offer. So let's just be self-reflective and realize that you still have work to do. So this is for Temi Tayo. You have a lot of work to do. And your LinkedIn tells a completely different picture from what's on your resume. So that could also be a problem. And so I'm looking at the resume now. The resume formatting is completely off and you can fix it with a few quick tips. If you go on my Instagram bio, there's resume template. I think you should use that. It's a 1-pager, especially for tech roles. It doesn't mean you can't have 2 pages, but I have 14 years work experience and I have 1 page. So just to give you context, and you only have 2 years work experience and you have 2 pages, but there's a lot of empty space on the resume. So it literally is your resume. Also, you don't need to put your date of birth and your marital status on your resume. You have your gender, you wrote gender male, date of birth, and your marital status single. Not needed. They need to know nothing of the sort to decide whether you're going to do the job. So I'd love to just give you I'm giving it to you now because I said I want to spend 6 seconds on your resume. So just real quick, and then you have sales representative, which is cool, but that doesn't match the roles you're targeting. Remember I asked you that? So as you kept saying, I'm not getting interviews, it's not working. It's not working because your resume based on your resume, you should apply for sales roles. But if that's not what you're targeting, you need to look at what you have here and decide how can I tailor these skills to the roles I'm applying to? Secondly, you have about 9 to 10 bullet points on one job, not needed as well. You can 3 to 4 bullet points is definitely fine enough. And then also with your skills, you listed it out. A lot of it is repetitive. That has nothing to do with the roles that you said you're targeting. Nothing to do with it at all. And so your education, great. You have all your degrees. You can also minimize that and do it in a better format. You put your hobbies, and I guess that was to fill up the resume. That's cool, but you can put it in one line. And then you put your references. You don't need to put your references in advance. The references are going to be used after they're ready to give you an offer, to just do character reference or to confirm you worked at a place. So taking up half of your space on the second page just to put specific people, their address, is not needed. That doesn't belong on your resume. So that's just the quick advice. So that so I've given you that now, so you can use that to tailor your resume. Go ahead and download the free template I have in my Instagram bio. Take some of the stuff you have here, make it a one-page resume, and I'm happy if you send it back again to give you more tips on how to hone that in. But I just wanted to do that really quick here, because that's what the recruiter's going to do. They'll spend probably 6 to 10 seconds, and they keep it moving. Not that you're not skilled or qualified, you're just not showing that you're qualified for the role that you're applying to. If you're going for data analytics, your resume is not connected to that whatsoever. Completely different. I hope that helps. I know you're not on stage, but that's the problem. It's not the skills. It's the resume matches a different profile from the type of jobs you said you wanted. Okay, I got your thank you. No problem, Timmy. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. We went 10 minutes over, but I'm really happy because we tend to go over a lot. Professor Timmy, you have anything else to add before we close the room?
Yeah, I want to add something to that. Thank you for that. So for the resume, you can look under my bio for my YouTube channel. I have a couple of videos there concerning how to create a smart cover letter, how to create a smart resume, and also how to create a smart LinkedIn profile. Feel free to use that, look in there, and that might be a guide for others. Yeah, and Temitayo can also do that, but at least you are giving him all the references, and that's gonna help him. So others can also use that. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. No problem. So I also looked at the job posting, Temitayo. So that's what informed what I said to you. So the job posting really doesn't even say you have to have a certain amount of years of experience. So that's good. They just said you need previous experience working as a data analyst in a corporate function. So if you know you don't have that, you can still apply if you can demonstrate maybe some data analytical work that you did for a client that maybe was a corporate company. There's different ways to attack that. But I was surprised. I thought they would say something like 4 years experience. They don't have that, which is good. But the hard truth is your resume literally does not have anything to do with the job that you're targeting. So the goal is to get your resume to at least get them to consider you for the job, but your resume is doing the opposite for you at this time. All right. So any last thoughts, anybody? Kume, Priyanka, Professor Temi, and Chris, or Ms. Toots? Any last thoughts? Oh, Ms. Toots. Where did she go? Okay, there you go.
I just want to say, maybe, did he ever connect with Professor Temi? Because he might need to do a consultation with her, and they can, she can help assist him with his resume.
Oh yeah, he's in the audience, so hopefully he does if that's what he wants to do. Yeah.
No. Tutu, before you came, he's already working with Amin. That's fine. Amin is already taking care of that.
I'm just I don't have a service like that. He's not working with me. He just asked questions, and he was saying that he feels frustrated because it keeps saying he has to have experience. So I said, send me your resume on LinkedIn. Send me the job posting so I can give a quick and dirty look. A lot of times we give advice, but we don't even know if what they're saying is... So sometimes it could be our perception that we're not getting interviews, but the reality is he's not getting interviews for these type of roles because looking at his resume, which he sent me on LinkedIn, doesn't match. So no, I'm not working with him. He's not a client of mine. I just met him right now. And I was just giving him like actual practical advice. But so if he wants to work with Professor Temi, he's free to do that. I don't have a service like that for what, yeah. So Temita, if you can hear, Professor Temi's asking you to reach out to her for a consultation, okay? I hope you can hear that. Any other last thoughts? Okay, great. So Professor Temi, it's all yours. You can end your own room. Thank you so much for having us.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm here every single day. So this is like vacation. I'm just sitting down listening. So that's a good feeling. Thank you so much, Amin, for always being, helpful and supportive every single day since I met you on Clubhouse. You have been amazing, and I thank you for all that you do for everybody, supporting all the rooms, and wish to see you more. So thank you all, Kunle, Perika, Anna, C2M, Miss Toots, always here for me, and all my students. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate everybody. And yeah, so today we've discussed mindset for career growth, even though we're supposed to end the room like almost 45 minutes ago, but I'm grateful that we're able to at least almost 2 hours now. So thank you all for joining. Make sure you follow the room, Tech Empower House. This room is for you. It's not for me. Every time before coming into this room, I at least 1 hour, 30 minutes to prepare for the room. I have slides every single time. And so if you go on YouTube, this is recorded. You can listen to them again. It's for mentoring purposes. So that when you listen to this room again, you'll be able to understand, oh yeah, I remember when they said this and that, to help you, to mentor you. So make sure you follow the YouTube channel so that you can listen to them over and over again. So once again, I want to thank you so much. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing mindset and skill set, which one is more important for your career growth. So you get all of these resources from this room. So thank you all so much once again. If you are interested to break into tech in 120 days, you know where to come. It's here. We're going to help you to break into tech, support you all the way. I've helped over thousands of engineers to break into tech, and I can also help you to break into tech. Maybe you already have some training already. You just need a mentor. I can help you. If you also want to do some training, I can help you. You can just go ahead and on my Instagram, schedule a discovery call, and I will help you with that. So I thank you for your time, and I wish you a wonderful evening, and see you tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Kunle, Perika, Professor Temi Suits. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Amin. Bye. Bye, Christopher from Boston.
Take care.
I know you like ramen, so you're probably going to have ramen tonight.
Not a ramen night, but hopefully soon.